In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get so rich you question the meaning of money as a trainer. My name's Charlie Johnson. I've sold over $10 million of fitness programs. We've helped over 8,000 clients all over the world. I currently now live in Dubai, live my dream lifestyle. And the reason I'd be able to do all of this and achieve all these things is by doing some of the systems and things I'm going to show you in this video. And it's going to be the exact blueprint you can implement to change not just your life and your own financial life. And for me, the big thing I want to help you do is to carve the financial future for yourself that you want, and that's within your hands. So if you want more content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and now let's get into the video. Okay, so this is the exact framework I've used over the last 7 years. That's maybe a multi-millionaire in fitness, and I'm gonna share it with you. And the first process, what we really wanna think is, how do we actually begin this journey? So if you wanna stack loads of money, you wanna be successful, you wanna help transform people's lives all over the world, the first thing you actually need is a skill. Now, one of the big problems I see is why people don't get started is I don't have any qualifications. I am a complete failure. The only qualification I have is a reps level 3 PT from when I was 18 that I did at the K2 Leisure Centre in Crawley, big up West Sussex. And then after that, I have a qualification as a ski instructor. I basically failed my A-levels, basically failed my GCSEs. Even though I went to private school, I have no credentials. However, I had skills that I learned from doing the thing, a bit like what I'm teaching right now. And what did that do? My experience and my results were my certification because I had the skill. So first thing you need to be successful as a coach is to actually have a skill that you can help people with. So whether that's to get in shape, whether it's to build a business, you have to have a skill and have some knowledge. And this skill doesn't actually mean you have to be the best person in the world at the thing. It just means you have to have enough skill to help the person who is a step behind you. And a great example of this, anyone who loves the film Catch Me If You Can, Frank Abagnale taught college sociology, and he wasn't a professor. No one knew. But all he did was, he was one chapter ahead of his students, which is all you need to be in terms of skill you need to have. Now, when we have a skill, the next thing we need to have is traffic. And we're going to break down how to do these all in this video. So once we have skill, we then need traffic. How do we get traffic? A saying I absolutely love is best known beats best. You have to become known, and your number one problem you have right now, which is why you're not successful and you're not in the position you want to be, is obscurity. Not enough people know who you are. My mission is I want to help tens of thousands of trainers create financial freedom like I have. And for me to do that, I need to come out of obscurity, give you loads of value, so then you subscribe to this channel and share this with a video with a friend. So the big thing we need is traffic. How do we do that? We showcase the skill we have. We become the attractive character in the front of the business. That's a really big framework we need to think about, is the skill to the traffic. And then once you've got the traffic, that comes about with one thing that most people don't do, is being consistent. I have posted over 6,500 times on my main Instagram account, at Charlie Johnson Fitness if you're not following already. And the reality is success leaves clues. For you to be very successful, you need to focus on one thing. Consistency. And this is the number one reason people fail. Like the amount of people who do podcasts, I think most podcasts have got a max of like 5 episodes. No one's gonna be world class at anything at the beginning. So you have to start. And even if you're at the moment listening to this and you make 10K a month, you make 20K a month, and you wanna get to 50, you wanna get to 100, consistency is the big thing, and these still things apply. So if you want to get to 100K a month, or 50K a month, or 250K a month, whatever it is, and you're not doing that right, and you're not doing that right now, you don't have the skill. And you also probably don't have enough of the traffic. And then also the third part of this jigsaw puzzle is actually asking people, can you help them? Basically marketing. And this is the key thing. And this is something I'm going to offer to you at the end of this video, is how we can help you do this. It's basically actually getting people to raise their hand in terms of how they can actually come to you as a client, how you can help them. So you have the skill, you have the traffic, and then you ask people to help them. It's the basic fundamental of every single business out there. I'd be like, Charlie, that's really, really obvious. However, how is this going to make me money? How am I going to become rich doing this? How am I going to afford to feed the future family I want? How am I going to have the lifestyle that I want? I'm about to say this for you in one word, and that one word is leverage. Leverage is huge, and leverage is the entire thing that I base my life around and every decision I make in my business. And making money is about leverage. It's not just in terms of output and time worked. To give an example, there's people who work in construction sites here in Dubai who probably make $400-500 a month. They work a lot harder than I do, and they do a lot more than I do. However, they don't have leverage. And if you're a personal trainer right now and you've got the golden handcuffs, you have no leverage because you're literally trading your time for money. Now, there's 4 different types of leverage you can have, which we're going to break down in this video. So there's money in terms of financial, and then we're going to go media in terms of content, so videos like this. You've then got people, so hiring teams, and then you've got code, as in software. And we're going to break down some of these and how you incorporate those in this business so you become a wealthy fitness coach who can be successful. So now some examples you can put into a business that gives you leverage. Let's look at this actual video, for example. Long form content, that's a form of leverage. I make this video once, people will continue to watch this for the next 3 to 5 years. This is a very good use of my time. The second thing is going to be staff, and the first people you need to be hiring really in a fitness business is VAs, so virtual assistants. So they will be doing things like admin, and we're going to go in more depth on this later on. Admin, DM setting, although DM setting we've actually replaced now with our automated AI call booking system. If anyone wants access to that, drop me a message with AI chatbot on Instagram and I can explain how that works. And then another good example would be for like this video, would be editors who are going to edit this and then also like post. And this is how simple this type of leverage actually is, because this is getting my time back and all these things going outside of the business. I'm going to break down in the video all the types of leverage you're going to need step by step to grow your business. Now, to get very successful, we have to understand this basic form in terms of leverage. So work is the thing that we need to do every single day. And output is what work basically creates. We create stuff, we make shit happen. Now, how we scale that up is time times leverage. And this is how you get a lot done very quickly, which is when you get lots of people and lots of systems to work together synchronistically, and that's how you can grow a really effective business. A really good book I'd recommend for anyone who actually has a team is The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Very, very good book that can give you a lot of insight in terms of how you can actually get everyone in your business to row the boat in the same direction. Now, to get really successful, what we have to focus on doing is avoiding distractions and red shiny objects. So a lot of these things are going to come to us every single day, and there's going to be a lot of clickbait bullshit that's going to pull you into this. So one of the best things I want you to write down whilst you're watching this video is this: singularity of focus. So having singular focus on what you're trying to achieve and having specific goals is a huge thing, because you need to be like the fucking point of the fucking spear and be so specific of what you're trying to do and singularity of focus on the goals. And when you don't have singularity of focus, you have big fuck ups and big mistakes. One most notably, I'm going to tell you now a story of how I lost $250,000 in 12 months because I had a payment gateway shut down. And why? Because I didn't have singularity of focus and I wasn't paying attention. And essentially what happened was that I was running a low ticket offer. Don't do this. The low ticket market is getting completely wiped out by AI. That's a terrible thing and I would never recommend it. That's the exact thing not to do. And I didn't have myself to help me back then. But don't shoot me now. I had a low ticket offer and it was making about £23,000 a month in recurring revenue that got shut down. Why? Because our dispute rate was too high. So what I actually ended up happening was I got warned about this a month or two before and I just ignored it because I was too busy not paying attention, doing all this other stuff. And what happened, I had that entire account shut down. I woke up one morning with an email from someone being like, "You're fucked, your business is over, you're finished." Great way to start a day. However, what I'd say for anyone who's going through a challenging time right now, this is normal in business and you learn from these big mistakes, because what happens, it gives you a thicker skin and you also know how to protect against the downside, which we have lots of videos in terms of how we actually help you do that and how to spread the risk in your business. Now, what we actually want to focus on doing, if we're looking to try and actually optimize our business and get it to really grow, is this: focus on what works. Avoid red shiny objects. So I'm going to give an example. When I first moved to Dubai, I was on the warpath, had loads of personal issues, I just got divorced, I'd just given away my house, I just had my Instagram account disabled for 3 weeks, I had all manner of problems, I was a bit all over the place. I was coming here on a mission to be like, I'm gonna fucking take over. I wanted to get to $1 million a month. And what I did is I actually got a whiteboard, I wrote down every strategy I could do to generate revenue, generate clients. And what did I try and do? I tried to implement all of them. I was hiring teams all over the place, spending fortunes. And what happened? It was an utter disaster because I had no singularity of focus. And I learned from that 3-month experience, it was also very stressful. So then what did I do? To focus on what works. When you have something working, the best thing you can do is just optimize the living shit out of it and think, can I get more output out of this thing? Can I scale it? Could I potentially 10x this? If the answer is yes, then keep optimizing that funnel until you go to a new one. Now what I'm going to do is show you the exact steps in terms of what you need to do to put leverage into your fitness business and who you need to hire in what order. And I'm going to take this back to when I actually was starting to scale my business and I left my full-time job 25th of February 2019. But the first person I actually hired was an editor, a guy called Mike, who was fucking sick. Because I understood, like the framework I said earlier, I had the skill, but I needed the traffic. So to get the traffic, I needed the content. I can't edit, well I could, but like it's not my realm. And it's better to delegate these things. So I hired an editor. So this was the first person I hired to give me some form of leverage. I had the skill, this helped me to get more traffic and was a huge thing that really changed the game of my business. For context now, we have a team of 4 editors. I think our entire media team is about 7 to 8 people full-time to help produce videos like this, our Instagram, podcast, and this is the best use of resources you can because it gives you more traffic. The second thing I then brought into the business was a VA for DM and admin. Now, we have traffic. I was then getting people to ask and raise their hand in terms of help. So I then got virtual assistants coming to help with the conversation flow and also help with the admin bullshit going on in the business. I'm actually incredibly unorganized and I struggle with that a lot. So actually having people help with the admin helped a lot of the red flags and problems that were happening. And this also took a lot of the repeatable donkey tasks off me. We've now used AI to replace a lot of this, which is making a big game changer in how the industry is moving forwards and also how I am and how we are innovative in terms of the industry with doing things before anyone else, because this is going to give you an unfair competitive advantage. Now, the third thing I did was long form content. So the editor I originally had was mainly just doing short form images. Back in the day, you could just put a photo of you like on the beach jacked and you'd get loads of likes and loads of traffic and a caption. It was a bit easier than that, to be fair, to some respects. But the third thing I did was long form because that gave me more leverage. It took more time, but it was something I started to build up. And the main thing I actually focused on originally was a podcast. 4, the next thing I did was I did paid traffic. So paid shout outs. So paid shout outs, I have another video on this, which is on the YouTube channel, which you can check out. This is essentially where I'm buying traffic from other Instagram pages who are going to post my content, put them onto their page, and then drive the traffic back to me. One of the beautiful things of why paid shout outs work so well, particularly at the beginning, is because there was a lot more reach and also the fact that you could post transformations up there and basically get a form of paid advertising, which you can't do on Facebook ads because you're not allowed to show before and after photos on ads. Now, with this format, I was scaling like fucking crazy. I had 210 one-to-one fitness clients I was working with, and that's because I had traffic from the editors, the VAs were booking sales calls, I had long-form content as well, and I started to run paid traffic. And then what we basically did from then was 2 things. 5 is we hired a sales team. So we have another business which is called Closing Force. They sell high-ticket fitness programs for about 20 other coaches worldwide. If anyone wants any information on that, feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram about Closing Force. But that got me a lot of my time back, which was huge, because then I could focus on the other stuff which was driving front-end traffic and front-end revenue back into me. And the 6th thing we also needed to do then, because we're cranking content, we're cranking traffic, we've got paid traffic coming, we've got sales team closing calls, I can't coach all these people, was hiring coaches. And to be transparent, I remember summer 2020, I think it was summer 2020 when COVID happened, I was raping. I remember in 1 week having to sign up, hire 7 coaches because we were signing up like 10 to 12 clients a day. And there was this software back then called Direct Heroes, which is actually similar to AI chatbot we've built now, where I could basically blast ad traffic in, it would go through them all and then book them in for calls. And that's very much where we're going now in terms of where we are with traffic. But this is a good example in terms of how this sequence works and then bringing in the coaches to help with fulfillment. If you want to get rich and you want to scale your business, the first thing you have to do is get yourself out of fulfillment, because that is not a task that's growing the business. That's working in the business, not working on the business. And if you want to build the life you want and you want financial success, you need to be focused on working on the business, not in the business. Now, after this point then, we just started cranking Facebook ads more. And basically this recipe, we probably just repeated this whole loop times like 4. to then get I think the highest month we've done in fitness was $350 to $400,000 in a month. And this is basically the recipe and the blueprint of how we scaled this up. Now, obviously, that's a very broad overview. The type of paid ads, I'm going to give some specifics on each of these. The type of paid ads I recommend people use are DM conversation ads, because no one's actually going to sign up for a program without having some type of conversation. The easiest way to get them into a call is on DM. We have a full framework in terms of how you can do that with also organic content in our 4C course, which there's information below this video for that you can get for free. The second thing in terms of hiring coaches, my best tips for this, I personally try and hire people who are slightly older, so 25 to 30 plus. Ideally have like a kid or a long-term relationship. Avoid guys in the early 20s who are single because they tend to be all over the place and be going out partying. I would also avoid coaches who want to be influencers because they tend to be unreliable and they tend to want to go off and do their own thing. 5, building a sales team. That's a very difficult thing to do, which is why it's actually easier for a lot of people sometimes to outsource sales. I would recommend for most people, this is probably the last thing you want to outsource. I would outsource fulfillment first. But for me, I was really bad at sales back then. So I was like, I'll just build a team to do this who are better than me. And now recently I've learned to become very good at sales and I'm world class at that. 4 paid shout outs, I would do that pretty quickly in terms of once you have significant revenue. Same in terms of the Facebook ads. Paid shout outs are less effective than they used to be because I think buyers are more aware of it, but it can get you traffic. Long form content, I would probably try and steer clear of that until you're at least doing 10K a month plus because it's very time consuming. VA, you should pretty much hire as soon as you have any money to buy your time back. And then an editor should be the first person you hire. The next thing we'll talk about is Dubai. Why am I talking about Dubai? Moving to Dubai has given me a huge amount of leverage and I'm going to explain why. So one of the obvious ones is tax benefit. If my business is more profitable because I don't pay tax, the biggest expense you're going to have in life is tax. That's a huge thing to understand to get off the table. If you want to be so rich that money doesn't even matter, you eliminate that, you're going to have half the time horizon in terms of how quick you can get there. And if anyone needs any help with actually moving to Dubai, has any questions, feel free to drop me a message. And I would highly recommend it, and we'll come into this. But why this is effective? Because this allows you to outspend your competitors. And the businesses that can really scale are the ones who can pay the most for a client. If I can outspend you to buy a fitness client, and I say buy because after the initial period of growing your business, you're basically buying people by putting money into the system of all the leverage I'm talking about, I'm going to win. So the tax benefit is huge because that's what's called an unfair competitive advantage. Second is the networking is insane. Now, your network is your net worth. If you hang around great people, by default, you will become a great human being and successful. If all you know is success, then you will become successful. I look out my window every single day and all I see is super yachts. My building has Bugattis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. This is the exact thing that primes your brain to realize there is no shortage of resources in the world. You just have a shortage of resourcefulness to go and get them. And that's on you to go and make the money that you can bring into the business and actually then reinvest it back in to the leverage machine. Next, I'm going to put a motivating environment, which we sort of touched upon there. But for me, one of the huge things I really struggled with in Europe was SAD, and that's the seasonal disorder in terms of the weather. So when the sun's not out, when it's not shining, when it's grey and pissing with rain in the UK and it's dark, it's not particularly motivating. When you wake up, it's blue skies, it's sunny every single day, you wake up with a fucking jump to get out of bed, you want to conquer the world, you're fucking fully on it. How much of an impact does that have on your life? And the 2 biggest things that have an impact on your success as an entrepreneur: 1, the environment you live; 2, the partner you choose to spend your time with. And lastly, this is a hidden benefit I didn't really realize so much once I came to Dubai. And that's an efficient lifestyle. What do I mean by that? I have a housemaid who I pay $700 a month. I do nothing in terms of laundry, cooking. I just have to actually eat the food. I haven't worked out how to delegate or outsource that yet. You can get food delivered whenever you want. I'm having an omelette delivered in about 10 minutes when I finished filming this video. And you may think, Charlie, that's retarded. Why are you spending £20 on someone to make you an omelette? Well, if you work out actually what your time is worth, which we're going to come on to in a minute, you'll realize how the secret to success with scaling is getting your time back so you can focus on higher output tasks. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of the things that are going to keep you poor and will slow your success. Number 1 is cooking. Why cooking? Dude, if you make more than $15, $20 an hour, which you will, then pay someone else to make your food. That is not an effective use of your time. You should be either doing two things, in my opinion. You're working or you're enjoying yourself. And that's the framework you want to have for life, because the work funds the enjoyment time. And this is actually an important thing to understand, that I used to think as an entrepreneur, you had to fucking bury yourself and grind yourself into the ground. And you have to some degree. Like, it's not easy. And I will tell anyone that because it's not been easy for me. But the reality is that you actually protecting your energy and having clarity in your thought process, because you look after yourself, you let yourself do things you enjoy, you can become more creative and better at what you do and become the greatest version of yourself. The second thing is laundry. Why would you be doing laundry? This makes absolutely no sense. Changing your bed, all this bullshit. Hire someone else to do that. That is not a job for you. Cleaning your house, anything like that. Next up, cleaning car. Why on earth would you clean your car? 4, like cut grass. All this bullshit is a complete waste of your time. If you are doing anything like this right now, these are the exact things that are going to keep you poor and unsuccessful. Because when you're fucking around doing this type of stuff, mowing the lawn, I'm your competitor, I'm making videos to get more clients and providing more value, I'm learning new skills while you're cutting the grass. So you need to understand a very important framework. And this is to understand what your time is worth. And I'm about to teach you the secret of how to do this. If you work out what your profit was last year, so profit last year, and then you work out how many hours you worked, and you work out how many hours you work by, say you work 30 hours a week, say you take 2 weeks off, that's 30 times 50, I think it's like 1,500 hours. So you would then take that by, divide the profit into the hours, and that would basically give you what's called your hourly rate. So profit divided by hours worked in the year equals hourly rate. Now, what I'm about to give you is the millionaire math of what you should be delegating. The percentage is 50. Anything that's less than 50% of your hourly rate, you should not be doing. Unless you're the only person on this planet who can do it. Like, no one else can film this video as Charlie Johnson other than me. We haven't got AI yet for that. And I probably still do it myself, because even I think that's probably a step too far. If you think that's a step too far, then comment below. I'd be interested to your feedback of how far AI is going to go. But anything other than like outside of that, you should be delegating. So if your time is worth $100 an hour, should you pay someone $40 an hour to clean your house and look after your cats or whatever it might be? Because actually, it's one of the main things my housekeeper does. I really like cats. I have 2 cats, and they're like basically like stress therapy cats. For like, one's for when Instagram, Facebook fucks me. The other one's for when like Stripe and payment processors fuck me. So like, it's a bad day when I'm stroking them both at the same time. But the reality is, you want to delegate everything off that's not worth this. The next secret to delegation I'm going to teach you, what we're going to do is, I want you to get pen and paper. You want to do this. You want to put a line down the middle of it. And what you want to do on one side is you want to do love. What you want to do on the other side is loathe. What do you love doing in your business? What do you loathe doing in the business? And the things you don't like doing are the things you need to fuck off and give to somebody else. Because those things are going to give you a negative energy effect, going to take away from you. And chances are, if you don't like them, then you're probably not good at them. And there's obviously going to be some things you have to do in the business you don't like doing, like your own banking, your own finances. Like, to some degree, you can't do that. Like, me giving payroll to one of our staff is one of the best things I ever did, because when you have over 120,000 a month in expenses, in salaries, and you have to pay that out manually yourself, it's like stabbing yourself in the eye in every payment, bank transfer you have to put through. Now, the last thing I want to give you, the biggest thing that probably you listen to this right now struggling with, your mindset. And one of the best ways I found to help myself and also clients to overcome this is 2 things. 1, read 10 pages of the book Winning. So that's the book by Tim Grover. It's absolutely phenomenal in mindset. It's actually his second book. The other thing I would do is I would write down the problem and work out your numbers in your business. If you know your numbers in your business in terms of how much revenue you're making, how much profit you have, how much revenue you're projected to forecast to bring in the next month, the numbers give you some clarity and help you relax. And the quicker you deal with a problem, action beats anxiety, the better you'll feel. And if you took value from this video, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe, comment below any questions you have. And if you want help to actually scale your own business, I am the best person in the world, 1,000% certainty, to help you do that. You can hit the link below for a free call. It's not a sales call. We'll literally break down like where your business is at, what you need to do, and give you some homework to go and do. And if we feel you're a good fit to actually work with us and you feel likewise, then we can have an open discussion about that. And we'll see you next video very, very soon.